Harjeet, and welcome to Toronto. I'm looking forward to having this conversation with you. Before I begin, I'd love for you to introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about who you are, where you're from, and what has your life looked like so far.
Hi Shireen, thank you, and it's my pleasure to finally see you and meet you. I am based out of Calgary and I'm originally from India. I moved to this country in 2018 along with my husband. Just having a dream of settling down in a new country, having a family, having a home, and having, just a good career. But life had different plans for me, I felt like in 2019, my life just completely flipped. When I was told that I had stage 4 blood cancer.
And so what was it like for you? Did you have any symptoms of being unwell, or was it something that was just that came in your life from out of the blue?
My husband and I was having a good time. We were just enjoying settling in a new country. I first came to Edmonton. So we actually moved to Edmonton from Dubai. We were working in Dubai and then we moved to Edmonton. And nothing, I just had fevers, nothing else. So it started with just normal fevers, which being an immigrant, it was challenging for us because we had a family doctor and we spoke to her that, I'm getting fevers, and she said, it's fine, it can be viral or a flu, just take Tylenol and go home and take rest. Weeks passed by. It was like 1 week, 2 week, 3 week of high fever. We ended up going to emergency and waited there for 6 to 8 hours. And I was told that, you should go home because you don't have any other symptom. You just have fevers. So it was tough for us. And we finally spoke to our family doctor that what we can do because it's been 3 weeks now and I'm having fevers ranging from 38 to 40 degrees Celsius, which is not normal. Right? And I was not able to go to work. I was not able to eat. It was too much for my husband to take care of me, to work, and finally they actually referred me to the infectious disease specialist at University of Alberta Hospital. He saw me and he said the same statement that it looks like viral or a flu, just take Tylenol. And I was struggling. I was having Tylenol every 2 hours just to cut down my fever. And we really advocated and asked him to get the CT scan done. But they said, no, we can't do it because you don't have any other symptom. And we actually fought for a CT scan, and finally they did the CT scan. And I was home struggling, and I got a call saying that we need to admit Harjeet to the hospital and we need to do some more extensive scans. And since June until September, I was in hospital for almost 3 months. Treated as a research patient, my fevers were not stopping, and no one had any answers what was going on. So my body started swelling up. I had fevers, I had ulcers in my stomach. Okay. I could not eat, drink, do anything. I was so frustrated and irritated with what all was happening, and my husband reached out to my family back home and my mom flew because it was overwhelming for him to work, take care of me, and to manage everything, because in this country it's very tough. So somehow they did the bone marrow biopsy, they did the breast biopsy, they did the laparoscopy, colonoscopy, you name it, I had it. I had endless scans. And finally, the day came when they did a skin punch biopsy. I didn't want to get it done, but I thought that, okay, fine, I've already get so much of poke all over my body, then get it done. And 27th of August, when we were just packing and getting discharged from the hospital because there were no answers, and the doctor came in and she said, Harjeet, we've got the news, and you have stage 4 subcutaneous. Actually, she didn't mention stage 4. She just mentioned you have subcutaneous panniculitis T-cell lymphoma. And I was like, what is it? because I had no clue what she's talking about. She's like, it's stage 4 rare type of blood cancer and it's really progressing. We need to start the treatment ASAP. And at that moment, Shireen, I was in the bed. My mom was next to me. My husband was not there. He was with my family doctor because we were planning to take me back home to India because we were not getting any answers. And I could see from her face that the word cancer, when she heard it, right? When she heard those words, she had tears in her eyes and I could not react. I just wanted to be strong in front of her and didn't want to react myself to that word, cancer. And I just asked her, what's the next step? And she said, we need to start the treatment ASAP. And we are still waiting for prognosis reports. So that was 27th of August, 2019.
Okay, so based on your experiences, I can only imagine how frustrating it must have been for you to keep pushing the doctors to, pay attention to your body, that it has fever for 3 weeks and that's not normal, and you are the one who's suffering, and to not be heard because the system is the way it is.
Yeah.
What would you have to say about that? Like, what should be done differently? What do you think should be done differently?
The reason I came to Canada, because we all know that they have a public health system and people say it's nice, everything. Like the picture I had as an immigrant coming to this country, right? But when I was going through all this, fevers for 3 months and struggling to get the answers, it was challenging for us because I remember we wrote a couple of emails to Alberta Health Services. We actually fought with our family doctor. I was lucky that my family doctor was very supportive because not a lot of immigrants know that how important is the role of a family doctor within your health team, right? Mm-hmm. People come and they think it's a public health system, when you get sick, you'll get the treatment. No, it's not like that. You have to navigate through the system. You have to have a family doctor. You have to have a doctor who can support you to get the test and the scans done. So I think my family doctor played a very good role in that. Like, she supported us. Obviously, it took her 2 weeks or 3 weeks to take action because they thought that it's just a viral or a flu, because I didn't have any other symptom and my blood counts were okay. But when it came to the infectious disease specialist, the same story was repeated. So we advocated a lot because in my body, I could feel that something is not right. Something is not right and not being treated. So we had to push hard. So I feel like in this country, when you feel that you're not feeling well or something is wrong, you need to advocate for your health. Like, you have to push the system to just get the treatment. So we did our best to try. Being an immigrant, it was challenging. It was difficult for us to navigate through the public health system, how to reach out. Like, the emergency was really, we had a hard time in the emergency rooms because we had to wait for 6 to 8 hours every time, right? So that was difficult for me. Like, I was suffering from high fevers. I have to wait in the car because I could not do anything. Like, imagine if you're having fevers of 39 to 40 degrees Celsius, you can't do anything. So my husband used to sit in the emergency room. I used to wait in the car till the time your name is called. So those are the challenges, I think, which every public faces over here when it comes to their health. I think the government should act swiftly, like especially in different, I know different provinces have different health system and different policies and stuff, but for an immigrant, it is challenging and you don't have much of education piece out there that, what you have to do when you come to this new country, So those are the things which should be, educated or aware to those people who are coming to a new country, rather than telling that it's a public health system, that's it. No, there are so many things, right?
Yes, there are layers of
there are layers. You have to have insurance, you have to have critical insurance. You never know. Like, I was new when I had cancer. I just came in 2018 and within 8 months, I got this news that I had stage 4.
So you had a very unique kind of treatment with stem cells. Tell us a little bit about this.
So when I was diagnosed, the doctors did mention that it's a rare type of blood cancer and there are only 150 cases reported globally. And my oncologist did mention this, that we are trying our best to treat you. So we'll start with the chemotherapy every 3 weeks, the aggressive treatment, and we'll see how your body takes it. And my cancer was complicated with HLH, which is an autoimmune disease. So my own cells were fighting with the other cells. So basically, they were trying to treat me with chemotherapy, killing the cancer cells, but my own body was eating my good cells. So the chemo was becoming more, it was not helping them anymore. And I was still getting fevers after chemotherapy. So there was time that my chemotherapy was extended because of the fevers. So after 3 chemos, I had a PET-CT scan, and they saw that my body is not reacting to chemotherapy. Some of my cancer cells are actually reacting to the chemotherapy, but some are not. Mm-hmm. So I still remember the time when my oncologist called me in the room with my husband, and he asked me, "Harjeet, what's your appetite?" And I was like, "What do you mean?" He's like, "What do you want to do?" And I was just 32 at that time, and I told him, "I want to live. I want to survive." And he said, "I give you 2 options. One, we can go on giving you chemotherapy till the time your body takes it, and we don't know how long. Second, we can try doing a stem cell transplant, which will give you a little life longer. So your life expectancy would be longer, 5 years, 4 years, 6 years, 10 years, we don't know." So when he told this, I went back home and I just locked the door and I cried. I used to cry when I was all alone. I didn't want to show my face to my family that I'm like worried, I'm stressed, and I don't know where my life is going, because I felt like if I melt down in front of them, they would go down with me. So I didn't want that thing. And I felt that everybody's trying hard to treat me, to take care of me, to make sure that I get the best treatment. But in my mind and in my heart, I was like, it's all done. Like, my life is over at the age of 32, and nothing is coming back. And as soon as I stepped out of the room, and my family already took the decision that we are going for a stem cell transplant. Obviously, we had a second opinion back home in India. My family is a doctor, my uncle is a doctor. So he said, we have to go for a stem cell transplant. That's the only option. And so decision was taken, and my oncologist mentioned that they need to do a couple of tests for my brother, because that's the only sibling I had. And he was a 100% match. He was a donor. And they did some tests on me and him, and it was said that he'll be my stem cell donor. But before that, the plan was to make me to a partial remission. So they started the other chemotherapy treatment so that they could actually make sure that I'm ready for a stem cell transplant. Mm-hmm. December 2019, I was done with one part of chemo, like all the 6 chemos, and the plan was to give me next round of chemos from Jan until March, because March was the deadline for me to get the stem cell. During this whole period, I lost my fertility. I was thrown into early menopause at the age of 32. No one talked to me about it. One day I just realized that I'm not having my periods, and I spoke to my doctor, and he's like, "I'm sorry, but we didn't have chance. Like, your condition was so bad that we didn't have any chance to talk to you about freezing your eggs or doing anything, because we just wanted to save your life." I went to a fertility specialist, and she said, "I'm sorry, and you are just thrown into early menopause, and now you're going for a more aggressive treatment, which is a stem cell transplant. So there's no way that you're getting back your fertility." So Jan 2020, I had this news, and then Jan 2020, I did lost my right eye vision because of the treatment. I was so immunocompromised that I had to go through, I had a CMV retinitis on my right eye, which damaged the retina of my back eye. So all those things were going on, and I was just losing it. I felt like one step or the other. Everything is just, we're just trying our best to treat me, but nothing is working out. Like, I lost my fertility, I lost my vision, and what's next? So I had to go through the aggressive chemotherapy at that time. Feb 2020 was the most challenging year for me. There was my birthday and the chemos and stuff like that was happening, and I had to go through the treatment every week. So I had to go through the chemotherapy every week along with the injections on my right eye to protect my left eye, because I had a CMV virus which could actually damage my left eye retina too. So they had to protect the vision of my left eye. So they said that every week we'll be doing a chemo and the eye thing as well, like injection into your eye. So it was really painful for me, and I was just losing hope every day. But because seeing my family, the support system was there, so I felt like, I have to do it for them. And then March 2020 happened, COVID happened, and I had to move to Calgary to get the stem cell transplant. And they called and they said that Harjeet needs to come alone for the treatment. There's no family member, no visitor policy because COVID happened, and we need to start the treatment in April, 6th of April. So I was there on 6th of April, entering the hospital, and I still remember I was hugging my family, my dad, my mom, my husband, my brother. I felt that I might not go back from here. This is the last time I'm seeing them probably, because I knew in my mind that doctors have already, told us that there might be a chance of 20% of chance of death because the treatment is aggressive. And seeing the world going through global pandemic, COVID happened, and going through all this by myself, because till now I had that support system, but now I have to face the challenges myself. So I was there in hospital for 35 days. The plan was to go through everyday chemo and radiation to kill my immune system so that my brother cells can, they can give me my brother's stem cells. And they also told us that there would be 100 days, which would be very difficult for Harjeet to survive because her body can reject the new cells. So we have to take care of her, like we have to make sure, and plus there was COVID, so it was too much to manage. But somehow I survived. I don't know how. I managed to cope up with those 35 days. I think the only hope I had was to see my family. So I remember when I was giving all these treatment, I was completely in that zone because I was on opioids, painkillers, I had food pipe, feeding tube, I had oxygen pipe. So I don't know how I managed, but every day I remember I used to pray for the next morning so that I could see my family through FaceTime. So at that time I started writing my journey because I wanted to express my feeling to my husband, to my family, that how grateful I was for them. And I wanted to make sure that if I'm gone, they are there to read my story. They are there to read what pain I was in. And yeah, it's been 4.5 years now. Like every day has been a challenge. I could not walk, I could not eat, I could not get out of the bed. I was completely bedridden after stem cell. My mother, my husband took care of me like a baby. I was not able to go and take shower, change clothes, anything. So I think it took a lot of time for me from there to here. And every day has been a challenge.
Well, congratulations that you have lived through all those difficult experiences and you still have this beautiful smile and you're radiant and you're sharing your life story and your messages with the world with the intention of, advocating, supporting, healing, empowering, transforming other people's lives. So I've been following you on Instagram and on your platform called Chai and Hope, and I would like to ask you, as a South Asian woman myself and having endured cancer, what are some of the struggles in the family that you've had to deal with, the stigma around cancer and being a woman yourself? What are some of the struggles that you dealt with?
So when I was done with the treatment, Shireen, I was looking for help. I was struggling mentally, physically, socially, because I had a huge support, my husband, my mom, my parents, but we never talked about cancer. So we never talked about our experience or their experience, because cancer doesn't affect me, it affects the whole family, right?
Absolutely.
And I was looking for help, and I reached out to a couple of organizations like Canadian Cancer Society, Young Adult Cancer Canada. And when I connected with their platforms where I found a lot of other patients out there, and I used to ask for help, connect with them. And the strange part was I never found someone with my own color in those organizations. And
are you talking about support groups?
Yeah, support groups, like all those support groups which we have for cancer patients and young adults. But I was not able to find someone out with my own background, with my own South Asian community. And I felt like it can't be true that it's just me. And so I started talking about it. I started talking about my journey through my social media. Initially, my mom was not happy with it. Like, I posted my bald head pictures and stuff, but I was looking for support. I was looking for help, and I wanted to reach out to other people out there, thinking that there might be someone out there with my own color who would be going through these challenges. So my mom was not happy initially, but I was like, I just wanted to be out there, be the voice for other patients, was looking for support and wanted to help others too, because I felt, and when I dig down deep, I felt like there is a huge stigma, a huge taboo around our community where we don't talk about cancer. We call it as a bad karma. A lot of people reached out to me when I started posting about it, that, we can't talk about cancer. It's a bad karma. They said that cancer is contagious. So all those things came. And so when I was like out there talking, and I did collaborated with a couple of organizations where I was talking about my journey and stuff. And I thought of, planning a platform for a South Asian community. So I was here in Toronto last year, where I actually was a guest speaker talking about a South Asian stigma. And when I was talking about that, I wanted to do something for our community, because we have such a huge community of South Asian, but why we don't have a support group? We don't have a support group for cancer patients. So that's how Chai and Hope came. So it's my partner and me. So we both are cancer survivors, and we started this page called Chai and Hope just to support the South Asian cancer people out there. And it's still a struggle for us, because not a lot of people are talking about it. And I really don't understand why there's so much of lack of education about cancer in our family, right? Why we don't talk about, like, a lot of people I've heard, they don't even go for their mammograms or pap test because they're scared to hear that news. Like, they don't even want to talk. So we just want to make change, and just addressing cancer as a normal, open conversation, not as a taboo or a stigma. So.
Yes, I hear you. I mean, I am also aware of women that wouldn't go for mammogram because they were ashamed of, bearing their bodies to the process. So, yes, it is a struggle, and we do acknowledge that we need more women like you who would come out and share their struggles to support other people and make them feel that they are not alone, and it's okay to go through what we are going through. I mean, yes, it's not okay physically, we are suffering, but it's not taboo, it's not stigma, it's not bad karma, it's not bad luck.
Or it's not contagious. Like,
and it's not contagious.
They back off from other person because he or she has cancer, right? So they don't want to talk. So I feel we just need to make that change happen, right? And if we all come together, we can make it possible, right? So I feel like one voice can help so many out there.
So what is your vision for Chai and Hope?
Our vision for Chai and Hope is to reach out to more and more South Asian cancer patients, survivors, whether men or women. And initially, the plan is to have stories out there on our page, on our social media. So we are active on Instagram, Facebook. We have a private page on Facebook and TikTok. The plan is to get more and more people out there first, because we want to build a community of people who are South Asians and who have actually suffered through cancer through their family or friends or through themselves. And then initially, once we have that community, then probably we'll have a podcast or the events where we just want to host and provide support groups, and also do a chat sessions just with chai and chat kind of a thing, where people can just talk about their experience, because they need support. They can't talk to their family, but we want to be there for them. Like, they can always come to Chai and Hope and talk and share about their experience. And if they're looking for any kind of support and help, and we want to be there for them.
Thank you. Thank you for the work that you're doing, creating a safe space for people that are dealing with cancer, for families that are dealing with cancer and struggle to talk about it. So as a cancer hero, what's your message to the world?
I would say never lose hope. Like, there's always a way out. And there are a lot of people out there who are ready to support you, help you. There are groups out there where you can actually, share your journey and share your experience. So ask for help. There's nothing bad in asking for help. And you don't have to go through this all alone.
Thank you. Those are very big lessons. Ask for help. You don't have to go through this alone. Well, thank you so much.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you for being here with us. Thank you for sharing your wisdom, your lived experiences, for being so honest and sincere, and for doing the great work that you're doing.
Thank
we
you.
wish you the very best.
Thank you.